Are you ready to paint some rocks? Hello, welcome back to another Paint and Chat live stream with me. I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. It is the 24th of June. We are in the last Wednesday of June, believe it or not, as the days move and scoot and do all of that stuff. So I'm working on just sort of clearing out a little bit of my backlog. I picked some 40K models for tonight because, obviously 9th edition is coming out and there's been a bunch of little reveals of the new rules. So we can talk about that a bit. Then if I have time, I can grab some more War Machine stuff because I've also got a pretty good backlog of that. So, yes, how's everybody in the chat? Samuel, welcome. Paul, good to see you, man. He's been playing a bunch of Vermintide, Vermintide 2, which has had some new updates and a new career if you play Vermintide 2 for Marcus, which looks a lot of fun, so I need to actually get in and play it. Shale, welcome. I don't know why I didn't end up seeing it until earlier, but I did see your Drago model, so he's looking really good. Nice work on that. Azurkate, is that how you say it? Hello, welcome to the chat. Todd, good to see you. David Dog, good to see you as well. And Viper Taha. All right, we've got our regulars in here. So with working through a backlog, generally you have to start dealing with like the detail work, which is fun to some and less so to others. For this guy, my dear Bulgrin, who will certainly be seeing a lot of use. I wonder if this is any better. Yeah, there we go. In the new 9th edition. So he's coming along. I'd actually originally started painting him last Valhalla. And so I'm working on his base. I actually painted his rocks right before I got started. So there's actually two tones that go into rocks. One of them is pewter gray, the base color of rocks. Because even though I use real rocks from my front yard for the basing, they have to be painted. It's just the way. And then I use normally I would use a country gray, but I haven't been able to find that. Oh, gross. Oh, that sounded sandy. This is a granite gray to give a shout to. Nathaniel, welcome. How am I? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you are well. Mac Attack, good to see ya. Shale, finishing up Drago tonight, final highlights and basing, and I've started on the gun carriage tonight, but I am still undecided on the horses or treads. Yeah, that's always the kind of the hardest part to get started with, honestly. Is that mixed okay? Okay, that doesn't look too bad. It has a bit of a bluish tint more than I would care for. Ho-hum. Oh, Bulgrin, I've wanted to get some and convert Bulgor heads on them as animal-headed helmets. Oh, nice. Yeah, they seem neat, I think. I'll have to see what the new rule set really brings to them. But, so yeah. Some 9th edition stuff came out. What was the thing I read today? So the Warhammer community had a faction focus on Imperial Guard today. And they were talking about the change to the morale rules and some of the new stratagems, which I'm excited because obviously I'm happy to run around rocking my tanks. So really, I'm looking forward to doing that. But one of the things I noticed was apparently the points costs are going up just across the board. So we might see fewer models for 2,000 points, which I suppose might make things a little more accessible for folks going from Kill Team to full-on games. Gross. Alfonso, good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Golden Pro. Hey, Wargamer Girl. I am a new painter and just primed my first model, Sorsha 3. Like, chunky Sorsha? Okay. And I'm just wondering, should I have based first? People kind of do it differently. The way I do it is like the actual grit and design of the base. That all gets glued on before priming. And then usually the base is actually painted first as well, just because it does a lot to make it look more painted than it is. But I know a lot of people will base afterward, so that's more of a personal choice. I've just found this seems to work fine for me. That's about the extent of the advice I can give you. I've learned that most painting advice is really like, well, this thing worked for me, which means you'll really have to test it and see whether or not it in fact works for you. I don't know if Space Wolves is here in the chat yet, but I'm sure he would agree. Bloop, bloop. So we're just gonna paint some rivets on real quick. Then I can, I was gonna try to do the construction looking thing with the yellow and black lines on the front shield. Oh my god, that was awful. So I'm gonna give that a go. Has somebody been chewing on those brushes? No. Look, I've been using these for almost a year now, like pretty regularly. And I neither lick brushes nor chew them. I find that gross. Hey Jeremy, headed out for half. I'm going to get half hour of the stream before heading back to work. Well, don't work too hard over there, Jeremy. I hope you're doing alright. I've arrived. Hey Torrent Wolf, Ender. Good night, good people. Hi, bye. Bulgrins are expensive. 40 euros for 3. I think they're about that much here. Like, we pay a lot for our miniatures. Strategic reserves and morale. There you go, the strategic reserves. So that changes how your deployment works depending on what turn you bring your reserves out in. So that was interesting. I was never much of one for putting models in reserve, but I could see that. I feel like that's more useful for more elite troops, maybe sisters. I mean, more elite than guard, you know. Kind of don't want to have fewer guys than you need. It's just my own thought on it. But yeah, so the strategic reserves, The morale is interesting. So the way they describe morale is you still take a normal morale test when you I guess lose models in a given round. And it's a d6 plus the number of models you've lost, normal. And if it's equal to or less than your leadership, you're good. All still pretty normal. And if it's less than, you lose exactly 1 model from that unit. Then you now have to make a roll for every single model in that unit, and on a 1, they flee. So to me, that sounds a bit like it really slows stuff down. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what the effects of it are. Samuel, I've been working on a Tyranid Carnifex. Ooh. Dave, I bought a Spanish version of Blackstone Fortress Zote by accident, so I'm going to get the English version and use the other as Blood Bowl's star player. Nice. For your model, smaller boards. Yeah, and I got the smaller boards that have been announced a little while back. I reckon guardsmen will be 6 points each, like cultists. Oh, really? Fair enough. Well, wait a minute, doesn't that mean they go down? Aren't they like 8 or 9 points or something like that now? Or am I thinking of Kill Team? Tyranids is an amazing, good-looking horde army. Leviathan looks like the daddy of Aliens factions, I'm sure. Diamond, welcome to the chat. It's okay. Chris Bello crashing the stream here. Hope you're doing alright there up in frozen Canada. And I can't paint currently, so streams are cathartic for my painting itch. Oh man, I hope it's not too like stressful to watch me like not paint then. I might do an alllllmost earth under some Valhallan blizzard with some grass turfs. Okay, nice. I just saw off my Space Marines from a temporary base once to be placed on the painted base. Not recommended. Yeesh. Oh, and listen to Condiment Studios when it comes to liking these videos. It is awesome and I super appreciate it and it really helps. Uh-oh, am I starting to lose some internet here? What is going on? Okay, it normalized. The wind stopped blowing outside, I guess. Sorry about that, guys. But yes, do like the channel or like the video. So if you can, if you're near your computer, just hit that button. It makes me feel good. To everyone, I'm glad it's Wednesday, but where I'm at is Thursday. Just enjoy it. That's right, because he's 7 hours ahead. Oh, the black-handled one looks a bit rough. Oh, this, I couldn't tell you honestly how old this brush is. And it is not a fancy monument brush from Creature Caster. This is of unknown origin. There's nothing on it to indicate it's home. A little crunchy at the end too. So it's good for general coverage, and I can dry brush with it a bit because if you look, that, light again. There you go. That is not a brush for detail work right there. That's just the status of that one. Fair point. Hey, Lorian, good to see you. And I am doing spectacular, thank you. My boss licks his brushes. He can't tell you. He can tell you which color tastes the best. Good evening, Miranda. How are you doing this wonderful day? Before I go to the hospital tomorrow. Everything okay? Wait, I hope everything's okay. Let's see, unless there's less than half strength, they flee on 2s. Oh, right, that's, so yes, you take another penalty. I guess you add 1 to the roll or something like that. No, you subtract 1 to the roll, because, yeah, then if you roll a 2, it still counts as a 1, and then they end up fleeing. It's pretty bad if you have an expensive squad, that extra morale check. Yeah, so I guess, I don't know if the design of it is we want to resolve games faster. Potentially that is what they're doing with that, except it also slows things down, because now if you have, orcs or a mass horde army, how are you supposed to just roll for potentially, 15 dudes? So this just seems a little weird to me, but whatever. And of course it does, it's just as dangerous for high expensive troops. So there's that too. You'll need to follow 8 steps. Let's see. Greetings, sir. I spent a few hours with your video this afternoon. Not sure I agree with the painting minis leads to picking up chicks. Oh, yes. Chris is good people. How many points of Astra Militarum do I currently have? I don't know. Enough to field, I don't know, 3,000 points? Maybe 4? Well, actually it's probably more, because I do have like 4 or 5 Lehman Russes, and then I've got stuff like Manticores. I've got other Rhinos. And then I've got Heavy Weapons team. I just found the other day, my house is a mess, a Heavy Weapons squad for Catachan that I had ordered a while back, and now I've got an Imperial Guard Bastion. And then, of course, I've got a Marauder. I've got 3 Valkyries / Vendettas. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fair bit. It's a fair bit of stuff. That's why I could never fly anywhere with it, because I'm like, I can't pack any of this. Yeah, girl, take care. Take care of your brushes. That's right. Crunchy. Annabelle, I love my Creature Caster brushes more than my Windsor and Newton. Really? Well, they have been really good to me, but I don't have a lot of experience with brushes, so there's that. I'm trying, Chris. I don't mean to, I wash it off, but, maybe if the paint gets up at the base, it's a little harder. It's what it is. It's not a big deal. Brushes are replaceable, unless it's a Series 7, and then pretty sure you're only allowed to own 1 in your life. Some brush soap does wonders for your brushes. I should probably get some of that. I could just, the brushes I normally buy, except for, these nice Monument Creature Caster ones, are, $3 and $4, so I'm not too worried about them. Chris's mantra, take care of your brushes and they will take care of you. Miranda, I was painting. I know it's hard to believe. I was painting sealer on a trellis and I have to put together after I get it all done. Well, it's something. Painting is painting. Mostly, yeah. That brush has been banged on the sides of a glass of water, hence the flaking paint handle. That's why props like me use big plastic jugs to reduce the impact when cleaning off paint water. Forensic Dave here, knowing what's going on. That may well be the reason. It's also an exceptionally dry environment, so if it's been in water and submerged, because this is a wooden handle, it could have also loosened the paint over time, causing the flaking. If you play orcs, you also have a lot of dice. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. I don't know where my creature caster brushes went to. Oh no! Yeah, we don't have to roll Overwatch anymore. More time for morale! Well, that's a weird offset, though. I guess. Oh man, the Overwatch rule is interesting. One of your old videos appeared in my suggested was watching you play Space Hulk because Blood Angels are very clean. Were they your handiwork? No. No, I didn't paint any of the Space Hulk stuff. That was my friend Flo and another painter that worked on those and made them all gorgeous. 3,000. Oh, are you impressed, Chris? Did I impress you? I'm so proud of myself. Hi, Spaceballs. Welcome to the chat. Just catching up with the crew here before I get to work on finishing up a little Bulgrin here. I just mentioned that since you showed the well-used brush. Hello. Creature Caster Goo is amazing. Awesome soap and conditioner. Nice. I'm killing, I'm sorry. Would you build a house with cheap tools, repair a car with inferior equipment? All the time. I am that girl who goes to Harbor Freight and is like, oh my god, this drill is $10. And you know what? I make it last like 7 years, so everybody's got their own way, okay, Chris? And I've definitely worked with very cheap and jankety tools to work on my car. Those 2014 Space Hulk minis lack detail, I noticed. Really? I don't know. I thought they had some pretty good details. They're like a more detailed year? Red, green. Okay, guess who's... Hi! We're just hanging out, sort of starting to paint. Let's see, I'm having a stent put in my heart tomorrow, that's why. Oh, well, I hope that goes nice and super smooth and very easy. So, be careful over there. And I look forward to seeing you back. Hopefully next week you'll have to come check in and say hi, okay? I'm simple and easily impressed. Haha! These are the friends I like to surround myself with. Wow, that goes well, yeah. Thank you, Dave. It really depends on the tool. Hand tools, okay. Cheapish. Power tools, hell no. Heads. It depends. Andrew, I've only ever lost expensive sunglasses. Cheap dollar store brand, never lost. That's true. And sometimes you can run into that issue as well, where you finally, you make the splurge where you're like, no, I'm going to commit. I'm going to have this nice thing. And that's the thing that's stolen or lost instantly. And you're like, well, why did I bother? But yeah, I grew up with the type of dad who would not spend $1 more than he had to on anything. And so, I learned a lot of creative uses for an angle grinder, skill saws, which are terrifying. Mostly those, so. They were pretty cheap tools that built the set for the show that one day you guys will see. My goodness. Anyway. I got Mephiston finished today, and I'm hoping to finish Gazgul today. Stoked with the big champion models. Also, hi Sam. Awesome, Lorian. Yeah, so a little too much gums. Okay. Anyway, so back to this. All right. Well, let's just jump in and pretend we can figure this out because it's fine. It's totally fine. So right in here, we're going to we're gonna make it look pretty. We're gonna add some construction-y looking lines, and hope that I don't do it terribly. Let's start there. I've got this really bright cadmium yellow from Deco Art Americana brand that I'm going to start with. And it's going to look super, super bright, but do remember that things get knocked down with the wash. So before quite all of the friendly suggestions come out. So, and I have not painted yellow in a long time, so let's just see. So that'd be black up there, so yellow here and yellow here. Well, we're doing it. Oh my god, it's getting faded yellow. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so we are going to have to do a couple of layers of this because, well, one, I use 50-cent paints. And two, yellow is a bit of a difficult color to get coverage with, as one may notice. So, ta-da! Step one! We're making amazing progress. This is great. This is great, you know? Stretching, creative. Oh gosh. Actually, I'm gonna rinse that off because my hand bounced. Oh, I got a subscriber. Thank you, Jeebs. Appreciate that. Okay, and actually drying the brush, making sure enough water is actually off of it to hold paint again. Hey, Six and Ed, welcome. Oh. If I compare to the current Blood Angels and Tyranids off the shelf, did you notice the lack of detail with the Space Hulk minis in comparison? No, but I'm sure there is a difference. But I'm also not really getting new ones off the shelf. Let's see, I saw you last year at Indie Storm. Decided I was going to do more cons and tourneys from going, and then got derailed by the global pandemic. Fair enough. Now, Indie Storm was this year, right? And it was the first one. I'm not crazy, right? It hasn't already been a year. Please tell me, like, I think that was like the end of January or something like that. So, are you familiar with the character Red Green? Sounds kind of like the man you did. Oh, maybe. No, I'm not familiar. Paint red, go fatter. Undercoat yellow and pink. Oh, now he tells me. Well, we'll see how this goes, but that's a good suggestion, Shell. I don't know if I own pink. I do own a pink. I found one. There you go. All right, we'll try that. Yeah, it's tough. Friend to paint. I'm doing bad moons. Nice. Works magic. If women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Yeah. I found putting a white base down helped with my yellow coverage. Okay, fair enough. Miranda, the construction line decal is one of the decal sets you should use in those, if possible, unless you got a good freehand or know how to mask really well. There's actual recesses on the model itself, so theoretically it should be fine, because it's not a flat surface I'm doing that on. So that's the only reason. If it was to actually be free-handed, then yeah, I would probably put tape, because I've seen that technique, and then I can probably sort of maybe copy it. I don't know. Don't forget, you can always paint white first, then yellow over white. I only stopped 50% of And yes, moderator comments. All right, so we're gonna try this again since this part's pretty well dried. We're gonna try another layer and see how that ends up looking. It's a very small piece of the model, so I'm not that worried about it. Like, I think overall it'll be approximately fine. I feel like I'm just killing Chris with all of my standards here. It's like, what is wrong with you? Didn't know you were watching Larry the Cable Guy paint, did you? And I need to clean up that bit, because I don't really want any yellow on the edging here. And a wet brush does a perfectly good job of removing that stuff. Since the undercoat of this is set for legitimately months. So, makes that easy. Was it? I couldn't remember if it was January, the end of 2019. I know, everything feels like a million years ago. But it was the end of January. And then Genghis Khan was about 2 weeks after that. And that was the end of conventions for 2020. White and yellow are my least favorite colors. If I can see any model, if I see any models with a lot of white on them, I'm not buying them. Fair enough. Also, Jan feels like a decade ago at this point, right? Patrick, hey, good to see you, man. How much did you miss? Only like 30 minutes. It's fine. We did figure out how to solve most of the world's problems, but, I mean, you can just catch it later. Chris Bello is up in the house for a little while anyway, saying hi to his friend across the country. Like, opposite diagonal ends of the country, almost. Again, approximately. Could also probably use a smaller brush for getting into the corners, but this one I really like, this number 2 here. It's like the number 2 pencil, I guess. It's great for most applications. Ta-da! Alright, so it doesn't look anything special, but when I get the black in there, maybe that will look a little better. I don't know. We'll see. So now, let's get in here. Alright, I gotta figure out. I'm just here to be a pain. Well, I like you being around, Chris. I'm just hanging out. Back in the day, in the long olden days, Chris and I would do was it once a month or every other week? You, me, and Adam would talk about movies on stream. Those were the good old days, back when movie theaters existed. Although you both were horrible about going to them. Anyway. And Miranda, you would have talked to your psychologist to know if you're crazy or not, but we're all crazy now. Don't worry, everyone's on the internet. It's just really a virus we're all getting downloaded into the Matrix. Is this for Kill Team? Originally I did buy him for Kill Team, but he will have proper application in small 40k games too. Samuel, I got a girl after I told her I'd model a mini after her. We broke up because I pictured and sculpted her as grandfather Nurgle. So quickly sound like Reddit stories. Oh my gosh. I read that as Larry the Cable Guy being in mini form. Let's see, I gotta look and see if Mantic has ogres and do a convert. Maybe Reaper. Yeah, maybe any of those. Oh man. Oh dear old Paul. Yeah, that was ages ago. It was a lot of fun, I know. Olden days. I'm glad it still looks like a spring chicken. I've had my channel for 8 years now, guys. Like, it's kind of weird. 8 years. I started in March 2012. Those were the days, the innocent days.